Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Find Your Model Health, the official podcast of Shemaine's Model Health for those looking to optimize their long-term health and weight goals and understand how their body works. I am your host. I'm Shemaine Linney, fitness and nutrition expert, biohacker, and certified iridologist, and I'm very happy to have you back with me for another episode. Now, these episodes, I don't edit them. I just want to get the information out. So they're quite raw, and you may hear a little bird singing in the background today. I was going to close the window, but I think he's quite sweet, and he's a nice reminder of what's to come with spring, especially during this current environment. I'm trying to be conscious to appreciate the little things like children laughing, even if they're not outdoors in my home, and birds singing and just the little things like that. So I kind of hope that you can hear him because we all need a little pick-me-up right now. So in the last episode, I discussed depression, what it was, and some ways to support your body through any instance of being depressed. Now, in this episode, I want to continue on from that episode, but in this one, I want to just give you some tools or understandings on how to fight depression. That hopefully, even if you practice a couple or implement a few of the tips in this episode, that you'll find they're very helpful. Before I go on, I must emphasize that the information in these podcasts is for informational purposes only and not to be taken as medical advice. Okay, so as we saw in the last episode, and if you haven't listened to it, I really encourage you to listen to it because I do go into herbs and supplements and dosages and some considerations with depression in that, so you might find that very helpful. But we saw that depression can drain your energy, leaving you feeling fatigued and empty and lost and in a place of darkness, and all that just makes it difficult to find your inner strength and desire to seek help and to get yourself moving again. But in the meantime, there are small steps you can take to help yourself feel more in control and improve your overall sense of well-being. So let's look at a couple of these. And when I say a couple, I have about 15 to go through with you. So first off, meet yourself where you are. Depression is common. It affects millions of people worldwide, including people in your life, even though they might not let on that they suffer with depression. You may not face that they face similar challenges and emotions and obstacles the same way you might do. So the key to self-treatment for depression is to be open, accepting and loving towards yourself and understanding what you're going through and why, or what may be the driving factors that you're going through something right now. So that's number one. Two, if you need to wallow, of course wallow, but do it constructively. And I always say to my clients, it's okay to have a bad day and feel sad and feed your emotions, but you have one bad day and then you move on. When we look at depression and wallowing, we understand that suppressing your feelings and emotions can seem like a strategic way to cope with the negative symptoms of depression, especially during this current environment where we might be like, well, I don't want to bother so-and-so with what I'm going through or how I'm feeling because she's going through it too, or we're all going through something now, so I don't want to put extra burden on my friends or family because I know we're all stressed. But this is a technique that's ultimately unhealthy, and believe me, your friends and your loved ones, even if they're going through stuff, they will be there for you and they will want to listen to you when you open up. So try not to suppress what you're feeling. If you have someone to talk to, then do reach out and talk to them. If you're having a down day, have it. Let yourself feel the emotions, but don't stay there. And I was explaining to one of my clients on yesterday actually, that there's different reasons behind down days. Sometimes that down day might have a big emotional driving factor. Sometimes your down day might just be you're extra tired and you need a break. Sometimes your down day is you're flustered from stress. So there's all these different reasons. So try and reflect on them. Consider writing or journaling about what you're experiencing. Then when the feelings lift, you can reflect on, okay, this is what caused me to have a down day yesterday, so that hopefully you can see the ebb and flow of your depressive symptoms and be more aware of them when they come around again. So number 3, know that today isn't indicative of tomorrow, and I'm my worst enemy when I come to this. Sometimes I forget there is a light at the end of the tunnel, or today seems like forever and I forget that there actually is a tomorrow. But that means today's moods and emotions and thoughts, they don't belong with tomorrow, they belong with today. And if you're unsuccessful at getting out of bed today or staying on track with your goals or if you didn't accomplish the stuff that you had set out for yourself today, remember that you haven't lost tomorrow. You can start afresh tomorrow, and there's a new opportunity and endless possibilities for you tomorrow. So give yourself the grace to accept that while some days will be difficult, and especially right now, some days are also going to be awesome. And there are a lot more awesome days to come ahead than I'm sure there is difficult days. So I know it's a hard mindset, but it can be really helpful. So number 4, assess the parts instead of generalizing the whole. And that goes back to number 2 on reflecting on why you might be having an off day. But here, depression can tinge recollections with negative emotions. And that means you may find yourself focusing on one thing that went wrong instead of the many things that went right. We tend to focus a lot on the negativity when stuff goes wrong rather than looking at what's positive or focusing on what we can be grateful for. So this comes very much back to practicing gratitude or even recognizing your blessings. It can help to write things down. I gratitude journal. Right now I'm using the 5-minute journal. It's not my favorite journal, but because I bought it, I'm adamant that I'm going to fill it before I go back to my old journaling. I just find there's not enough space for me to write everything I want to be grateful for. It's just very small, and that's not for me. But I know for some people, they just want to do some quick bullet points and that sets them up. But try not to focus on all the negativity. There is a concept that if you start your day off negative and you continue with negativity, then it'll just keep coming towards you because you're putting out the negative energy. So you wake up in the morning, you sleep through your alarm. Next, you get out of the bed and you stub your toe. Next, you spill your coffee on yourself. Next, you get a flat tire. Next, you're late for work. And it just spirals out of control because you're focusing on that first negative instance of sleeping through your alarm. And that sets you up for a whole day. Whereas if you really try to shift your mindset, okay, I slept through my alarm, but my body needed the sleep and it's okay, I can make up for lost time, blah, blah, blah. So you know what I mean. So directing your thoughts away from the whole and rather than focusing on different individual pieces can be very helpful and positive for you. This one is easier said than done. So number 5, do the opposite of what the depression voice suggests. So we all know this. When you're in a negative space or in your dark or struggling space, you get this irrational voice in your head that may talk you out of self-help, self-care, doing what you know should be right. But if you can learn to recognize it, and this takes a lot of practice, you can learn to replace it or make better strategically placed choices. So pretty much you're going to use logic as a weapon. It may involve you talking to yourself, but that does not mean that you have gone crazy. So sometimes it means that you need to address each thought individually as it occurs. That means taking the time to pause. Should I do this? Should I not do this? I know I should go for a walk, but I don't want to go for a walk. I'm just not feeling up to it. But actually, I know I'll feel better if I go for a walk. The fresh air will be nice. I'll be able to listen to my favorite music or podcast when I'm walking. So you can take the time to pretty much argue with yourself, have a conflict, have a debate, and hopefully the positive comes out. And the more you do that, the less you're going to need to do that, if that makes sense. You just will start automatically being able to convince yourself of the right thing. So you can say to yourself, you might be right, but it'll be better than just sitting here and doing nothing. So there's always ways we can convince ourselves, but it's taking the time to pause and, again, use logic as a weapon. The next is set attainable goals. And this is something I've been having struggles with now with this whole self-isolation thing. We're in week 3 now. The kids are home nonstop. I'm not working, apart from like what I'm doing online, but I'm not seeing clients. I'm not talking to as many clients. So in my head, I have all this free time. So why aren't I achieving as much as I feel I should be achieving? And it's really because I've set myself unrealistic goals. And then I feel bad when I don't achieve those goals or complete the tasks I've wrote down for myself. I'm well aware I'm not setting attainable goals, because now I also have kids under my feet 24/7. Now I'm doing a lot more cleaning and cooking, and I'm the only one that can go out to get the groceries, and I need to take care of myself and do my business and this, that, and the other. And realistically, I have not recognized that I'm out of my routine, and this is all new to me, and I'm not managing my time as realistically as I should be. So I need to set attainable goals, and I think many people do. And I was speaking again to my client yesterday, and she says she's feeling that the days are going by and she's not accomplishing anything because it's all so new to us. But as well, many of us are now homeschool teachers and whatnot at the same time. So a lengthy to-do list may be so weighty and overwhelming that you end up doing nothing because you're just like, it's too overwhelming. I can't think. I'm just not going to do it. That happens to me all the time. And I always will go and clean the house before I'll do stuff that's too overwhelming for me. So the concept of eat the frog goes out the window with me. I'm like, that frog can piss off. I'm not eating him today. So instead of compiling a long list of tasks, consider setting 1 or 2 smaller goals each day. And that's going to be different for everyone. So for you, it might not be clean the whole house. I'm going to get in and I'm going to spring clean and clean the whole house. It could be just do the laundry and take the trash out. Or again, I'm going to spring clean the whole playroom. It could be, let's just sort the toys in different categories so that when you do go to do spring clean on the playroom, you know the different categories are, and it's easier to get rid of stuff that maybe you've noticed your child is not playing with. Or, don't clear out your entire email inbox. Just address any time-sensitive messages. This is me all over. So I tend to just go through I don't even open a lot of messages. I just click, trash whenever I have a minute. So I might do 50 at a time, or I might do 100 at a time when I have a spare minute. And then I'm back down to where I want to be or where I feel happy with my inbox. So when you've done a small thing, believe it or not, you do feel this sense of achievement. And then you set your eyes on another small thing and another. And then before you know it, you have this big accumulation of small things that you've done that make you feel awesome. Instead of having this untouched to-do list where you end up feeling inadequate or a failure. Next is reward your efforts. And this comes back to self-care and self-love. So all goals are worthy of recognition, and all successes are worthy of celebration, even the smallest win. When you achieve a goal, do your best to recognize it. I used to have a business coach, and she would say, even when you make the smallest sale, you celebrate it. And I still remember to do that now. I celebrate a sale. It sends gratitude out into the universe. It's me saying, thank you, I'm happy with this, I want more of this. If you believe in the universe and energies and all that sort of woo-woo stuff like I do, you'll understand what I'm saying. And you may not feel like celebrating with cake or confetti, but do recognize your own successes. And I must highlight, this does not mean celebrate with a glass of wine every time you have a small win. This may be a bath, or treat yourself to a new top online right now. This may be, okay, I'm going to take a break early this evening and watch a movie rather than do a blog post. Or this may be, I'm going to plan to try this recipe this weekend, or something like that. So these small wins, and recognizing your efforts can be very helpful, especially right now. Even the smallest win, even if you have a day where you've successfully homeschooled your 2 or 3 kids and nobody has died or cried, that is a win. So maybe then we all can celebrate in the evening with a family movie or something. Okay, number 8. Many people find it helpful to create a routine, and you most likely will, especially if you're a woman. We are very much creatures of habits. We crave routine and structures. It's where we function optimally. That's why many of us feel like a big mess and stressed right now, with kids being home under our feet all the time, and we're just not in our proper routines. We're not going to the gym the way we used to. We're not going to the mall the way we used to. Everything is a mess. So not only is this increasing our stress and our anxiety, but it's also increasing our depressive symptoms too. So I very much enforce a lot of structure and routines in with my clients. Even when I'm having a down day, I will still try maintain normalcy with my groups and my clients as much as possible, because not only is it very important for them to have that solid structure, it's also important for me to show up in the groups so that I can maintain some sort of structure. So we have a lot of routines and structure in our groups and how I teach with my clients. But right now, because most of us are out of our daily routines, setting a gentle kind of schedule up for yourself, one that is attainable, may help you feel more in control. These plans don't have to map out your entire week. I am saying constantly now, let's just focus on one day at a time. If we get one good day in our bag, then we'll get another good day. And before we know it, we have 5 good days in the bag. And before we know it, we have a whole good week. So setting up a schedule or some sort of routine for your days, structure can help you focus a lot more. So I like to start off with a routine in the morning and right before bed, and then we work on these little wins throughout the day as well. So then we end up accumulating a good day. So yeah, try that, and hopefully that can help get a new daily pace or routine going for your family. It will take some trial and error, but I find that a lot of these points all go hand in hand, and very much so will help you create a good new normal, as we're saying right now. Number 9, do something you enjoy. There is a thin line here. We can do something we enjoy and then we can just spiral out of control. So we do need some self-awareness. And I'm speaking a lot to my clients and people that are focusing on health goals and weight goals right now. And everything very much goes hand in hand now. So do something you enjoy. If you find that you have a day where you just need a break. I just need a break. The stress is too much. The bad news is too much. The kids, the homeschooling, it's snowing. It's all just too much. I need a break. Then do that. Enjoy that day. That can give you a break from the powerful, overwhelming emotions that you're feeling and fatigue. Maybe do have a day where you just watch movies and don't homeschool, or you go outside and play. You have to consider your mental health during all this, but then have that day and enjoy it, or have that event and enjoy it, and then let's get back to what we really want for ourselves. So when depression tries to encourage you to stay in bed, like points 1 and 2, and just hide and not talk to anyone, you then try push back and do something you love, something that's relaxing but also energizing. It could be playing an instrument, painting, hiking, do some online chats, maybe happy hour with your family at the weekends, maybe online gaming, just stuff like that. These activities can provide subtle lifts in your mood and energy, which may help you very much overcome your symptoms, even if just for a short while. And right now, every little helps. Okay, number 10 is so underrated, but at the same time, I think people are becoming more aware of the power of listening to music. Research shows music can be a great way to boost your mood and symptoms of depression. It can also help you strengthen your reception of positive emotions. We know many of us that exercise in the gym will play music a lot of the time. If you're very aware of how music affects your workouts, you may have maybe a calming song in the beginning when you're doing your warm-up, and then you might increase the pace. But then when you really want to push through your workout, you're going with something high tempo. You're going with maybe Metallica if that's your thing, or you're going with dance or some sort of techno or something, and then you come back down to soothing music as you start to wind down. But by going through all these different genres of music, you can change emotions and neurological responses and even muscular responses as you listen to all these different types of music. So there's a huge, strong connection there. If you're feeling sad and down and somewhat depressed, don't go listening to sad music that reminds you of your ex or times you cried or anything. Listen to something you know makes you feel good, makes you want to dance, makes you want to kind of bop your head or hum along. Music can be especially beneficial when performed in group settings, such as a musical ensemble or band or karaoke. But right now we can't really do that with this whole self-isolation. But you could probably set up some sort of online karaoke or singing session or something with your choir, or even just your family or your friends, or sing along with your kids in the car. The music can be really, really powerful. Especially in isolation where we're already feeling alone. Music can help fill the room. It can help you feel you're not alone or so isolated. So yeah, use it. I'm sure you can come up with some awesome playlists for yourself and even share them with friends or on Facebook or something to help others. Okay, now number 11 is spend time in nature. This is a tough one right now with self-isolation or social distancing. We're being told to keep our distance and only go out when necessary. But also we have heard from the medical chiefs and health professionals of the provinces and the country. Right now I'm in Canada, and it's the same with across the world, that we are still allowed, if I may say so boldly, allowed to go for walks outside if we're with our immediate family or by ourselves or with people that already live in the same house as us, as long as we keep our distance from strangers or other people or neighbours. So we can still get out in nature. In Alberta, I think we're quite lucky because there's a lot of areas that are very isolated and not a lot of people go to, that you can go with just your family or even just yourself, go for a walk with your dog with your headphones on, and you won't necessarily come across other people. So you're still reaping the benefits of getting outside in nature, getting some fresh air, getting some sunshine, moving your body, while still practicing the recommendations for social distancing right now. So I know there are guidelines, but there are still ways we can do this. There's still loops in the guidelines. We haven't been fully enforced to not leave our houses yet. And Mother Nature can have a very powerful influence on depression. There's lots of research to suggest that people who spend time in nature have improved mental health. We know that when we go out to the mountains or go to woods or go to the forest, that we pick up different energies from the earth and the trees, and those energies affect our energies. Not to get too sciencey, when we look at positive and negative electrons, we see that the energies we pick up in nature, they can very much neutralize our own energies or bring them back to homeostasis or a state of calmness. And we know that exposure to sunlight offers lots of benefits, especially like in the last podcast episode, I spoke about vitamin D levels. We know that direct sunlight and UV exposure causes us to produce or increase our own serotonin levels, and they can way outmatch what we would get from a supplement. So getting UV and vitamin D sourcing from the sun is going to be a lot more beneficial for us than supplementing. So that's another reason to get out in nature and give yourself that mood boost. Oh my God, a long walk can really make you feel good, especially if the sun is out and there's a cool / warm breeze on your skin. It can be so nice. So consider taking walks at lunch or even across the day if you just want to do 10 minutes at a time, or plan a long walk after your dinner. Maybe plan a hike at the weekend with your kids or family. Again, practicing our good social distancing techniques. But these activities can really help you reconnect with not only the earth and nature and the universe, but also the time we're experiencing right now. It can give us a real sense of how united we are at this time, even though we all feel so isolated. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to go with number 12. Try something new entirely. Right now is the perfect time to work on something new. Work on your health, work on your weight loss goals, work on improving your endurance, work on finishing the pile of books you have, work on learning a new skill. I really want to learn how to make macarons. I keep putting it off because I have a lot to do, but I really want to learn, and I'm hoping that I do get to learn, and I'm excited to learn something new. So when you do the same thing day after day, you use the same parts of your brain. And you can challenge your neurons and alter your brain chemistry by doing something totally different. Research shows that doing new things can improve your overall well-being and strengthen your social relationships. You also, when you accomplish a new task or a new hobby, or you perfect something or you complete something, you have this awesome sense of self-achievement, of pride, of, yeah, I did this, pat myself on the back. So you get a lot of benefits from trying something new. And to reap these benefits, you could consider trying anything. There's lots of people right now offering online classes, even free classes. You have Udemy. You can go to YouTube and look up baking classes or cooking techniques, or how to make your own supplements and hand sanitizer. That would be a great idea right now, considering they're both in short supply. So yeah. Now, number 13, volunteering. Volunteering can be a great way to help with feelings of sadness and loneliness, because again, you're helping others, and one of the best ways to make yourself feel good is to make others feel good. But right now, volunteering doesn't look the same as it used to look. So volunteering now is going to be more like texting a friend, texting a neighbor, hey, I'm going to the store, would you like me to pick up anything? Do you need anything? Do you need me to walk your dog if you're not feeling well? Hey, I'm doing my garden, would you like me to do your garden as well? Or I have this extra lettuce that grew in my garden. I don't know why I said lettuce. Would you like some too? So we have to get creative about how we volunteer right now, but you can also volunteer with some online stuff, supporting youth. There's lots of stuff you can do, but when you volunteer, you knock out a few birds with one stone. Spending time with other people or doing something nice and new for others, even if it's just online or virtually, can help you feel really good. You may be used to receiving help from others, but when you reach out and help others yourself, you actually improve your mental health and your emotions tenfold. So get creative if you can, even if it's just a text. Hey, how are you doing? Do you need anything? I can drop it off. That, in a sense, is not just being neighborly or friendly. That is you volunteering to help someone out. Incorporating meditation would be our next one. Meditation is not for everyone, but meditation may help ground your thoughts. There are, in my opinion, other ways to meditate. Maybe you could just silence yourself and practice some stretching for 10 to 15 minutes. There is, of course, that gratitude journaling. There is meditation where you could just focus on your breathing, do some breath work. Not everyone can get into a place of pure silence and just sit there and try slow down their thoughts. For some people that can be hard, so we need some other techniques. A form of meditation for me is movement meditation. Walking is really a type of meditation for me. I like to do inversion moves and listen to classical music. That is just me taking deep breaths and calming myself. And to me, that is meditation. But if you're happy to sit cross-legged and hum and calm your thoughts and you're skilled at doing that, of course do that. But stress and anxiety can prolong your depressive symptoms, So finding relaxation techniques like meditation can help you lower your stress and invite more joy or calmness or balance into your day. Research suggests that activities like meditation, using meditation apps, yoga, deep breathing, and journaling, like I mentioned, can help improve your sense of well-being and also help you feel more connected to what's happening around you by recognizing your blessings and what's good right now and trying to take the focus away from the negativity. Okay, and then lastly, number 15, what you eat and drink plays a huge part in how you feel, and we saw this in the last podcast. If what you consumed didn't affect how you feel, then recommendations for herbs and supplements and medication would not happen. So we know what we put inside ourselves has an impact on what we put out. There's no magic diet that will treat depression, but there are protocols and templates that can have a real and significant impact on the way you feel and may actually make a huge difference. They may not cure depression, but they can really help eliminate a lot of depressive symptoms. And I see this all the time with my clients. Oh, I feel good. I have so much more energy. I'm enjoying getting up in the morning more. I'm not snapping at my kids as much. So it can really have an impact. We know that when we consume certain foods, certain simple sugars, preservatives, additives, trans fats, highly processed foods, that they're going to have an impact on how we feel. They're going to make us feel gross. They're going to cause us to become more inflamed. If you feel inflamed, you will know that inflammation in your gut is happening and also inflammation of your brain. You know that you will not be picking up serotonin properly, or your serotonin receptors will not be working optimally. You also will not be producing enough serotonin and dopamine and other endorphins, because these foods have a real impact on how your body functions right down to a cellular level. Even the water that you drink can impact how you function right down to the mitochondria. There's a lot to be taken into consideration when we look at nutrition and health, but straight off the bat, some things that are going to make a difference are going to be watching your sugars. We also know right now, as a side note, I know you're going to roll your eyes, but sugar does inhibit the immune system, and our immune system is our only defense against this current pandemic right now. We know preservatives and certain food colorings and MSGs have a direct impact on our cognitive performance and our mental health. So avoiding stuff like that. Trans fats, probably the most inflammatory food out there. Avoiding foods that are going to make you feel inflamed and focusing more on foods that are going to make you feel really good. You'll know, I can make recommendations, but you will know what foods make you feel good. Now, I don't mean foods like comfort foods that make you feel good in the moment that you're eating them because they're yummy and they're full of carbs. I mean foods that make you feel overall good, make you feel strong, make you feel upbeat, make you feel motivated. So your good fruits, your dark chocolate, your good meats, grass-fed meats, seafood if that's what you're into, your fermented foods, good coffee if that's what you're into. So try avoid crappy coffee, but really good coffee. If you like sparkling waters infused with mint and cucumber, like stuff that makes you feel really good. I love right now organic or fresh strawberries and berries with fresh whipped cream. It's so good. I love to enjoy some dark chocolate. Foods like that make me feel good. And yes, I do have treats when they are appropriate, but during the week I'm generally focusing on what makes me feel good, what keeps my mood and spirit up, keeps me uplifted, keeps me kind of wanting to move forward. And I say wanting to move forward with my life right now because, like anyone, I feel stuck at times. I don't know if I'm going left or right. So I do whatever I can to help myself feel like I'm still making progress, not only in my health journey, but also in my life journey. There's lots and lots of tips there. The last one, number 16, I will finish on this because I didn't touch it, but it's so important. Getting enough sleep can also have a huge effect on our depression. We know that sleep disturbances are common with depression. You may not sleep well or you may sleep too much. It can go either way, but both can make depression symptoms worse. You're going to aim. It's recommended that we aim for 8 hours sleep. I kind of like the range of 7 to 9 hours because it's individual. Working on a healthy sleep routine. This doesn't mean turn to sleeping pills, but if you absolutely have to do while you're working on good sleep hygiene. But there is lots you can do to get a good sleep routine. Dr. Sachin Panda always says that a good night's sleep starts the moment you wake up. It's very important to get direct sunlight into your eyes when you wake within the first 30 minutes of waking, so you can send that signal to your super charismatic nucleus or your master clock to signal, hey, it's morning, let's start releasing these proper hormones, so that when the time comes for melatonin to be released to help you get into your restorative, relaxed, optimal sleep state, that melatonin is going to kick in properly and the cortisol is going to drop off at the same time. So your good sleep at night starts as soon as you wake. And then, of course, you'll have good practices. If you're having trouble sleeping, no caffeine after 12, and that includes dark chocolate. So be cognitive of that. You can bring in some adaptogenic herbs. You can bring in some calming herbs, calming supplements, calming teas. I'm really liking flower essences and flower remedies right now. They've been helping me a lot, but I found if I take too much, I'm extra fatigued the next day. So I've found the optimal dose for me is just a little bit to give me a good sleep where I don't feel exhausted the next day or drained. I still feel energized. So there's all these different things, having a hot Epsom salt bath, making sure you're turning off electronics before at least an hour before bedtime. If you're not, at least use some sort of software that pulls out blue lights. No blue lights or LED lights in the evening. I always recommend my clients use candles or incandescent lighting. I use candles a lot, also little red lights around the house. There's lots you can do to help yourself. It will take practice. It will. If you're a very poor sleeper and you start practicing new sleep hygiene, it's not going to be a miracle straight away or in the first few days. It's wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. And then I promise you will get there. And there's lots you can do. So go back and listen to my podcasts. I've done 3 or 4 or maybe more of them now on biohacking sleep and nap times and insomnia and all that. So go back, take notes and start practicing. And if you need to, you're more than welcome to reach out to me on Facebook or email me for recommendations or advice or answers to any questions you might have. Okay, I'm going to leave this at this. Another long podcast. I'm sorry, I wanted to get the information out. I really hope you found it helpful. And even if you just take a couple of tips and implement them, that they benefit you, that would make me so happy. As always, please share with anyone you feel may benefit from this information. A lot of people struggling right now with stress and depression and anxiety, and if you could find it in your heart to leave me a review, that would be super helpful to me. I would really appreciate it. Like everyone right now, as a small business, I am struggling like others, and these reviews really help my podcast and my information reach more people. So it really does help me a lot, and it doesn't take long to leave reviews. I would really appreciate it, and the universe will thank you. Remember what we said, if you do something nice for other people, it's one way to make yourself feel good. And I'm a big believer that if we do something good for someone, something good happens to us in return. Okay, I'm jabbering now. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye bye.